All right. Well, we have a purposefully intimate group. And so, we will kind of share this presentation about the Purposeful Careers Initiative. But if you have questions, please chat them in or even come off mute to ask our team directly. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Erin to kick us off.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I will go to the next slide here and introduce Emily again, who is our interim director and senior program manager.
Awesome. Thanks, Erin. So again, good to be with all of you this afternoon and on a day like this where we have the chance to talk about the Purposeful Careers Initiative. I couldn't be more thrilled to be the interim director and senior program manager for the Baumhart Center. And if we go to the next slide, I'll share a little bit more about what we do at Baumhart. So we are really focused on equipping leaders with new tools to drive impact in their careers. And this is something that is true for the Quinlan School of Business. So Quinlan leads globally on social purpose. There was a study conducted by the Financial Times that looked at over 250 business schools from across the globe, and they ranked all of the schools across 4 different categories of social impact. And there were only 4 schools that kind of rose to the top and ranked at the top of 3 of 4 categories. 2 of those schools were in France, and I won't even try to pronounce the names of those schools. One of them was UC Berkeley, and the other was actually the Quinlan School of Business. So we are really proud of our commitment to leading with purpose, and we'll share a little bit more about kind of the connection to PCI. And on the next slide, you'll see here, our programs are really designed to help prepare leaders from across all sectors and all walks of life to thrive at what we call the intersection of profit and purpose. And with that, we want to make sure that leaders who go through our programs are also getting closer to their unique purpose. It's also kind of this Jesuit education model. Everyone has a unique purpose in life. We want to make sure that we are providing tools for them to get closer to that. And we do that in a few different ways. One of them is through our nationally recognized MBA called the Baumhart Scholars Program. And then we also run a series of executive education programs. So we have one for fundraising professionals, another for executives who are looking to move the needle on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then finally, the one that we'll talk about today is the Purposeful Careers Initiative. And the reason why we felt like it was so important to launch the Purposeful Careers Initiative last year was we wanted to develop something that was focused on career navigation specifically, because we work with so many people who are navigating career across sector, who are at different stages of career. They come to us for advice. And so we wanted to create a program that was designed specifically for them. And what we saw was that there are global trends that show that individuals are actually pursuing longer careers and they're deferring retirement in a way that we haven't necessarily seen in the past. And that especially people who are kind of mid-career or more senior in their careers are now seeking career support to help them move closer to impact, whatever that means for them. They're saying, look, I find a lot of value and get a lot out of my career, and I'm spending most of my time pursuing career. I want to make sure that it's something that's aligned with my values and my unique impact. And what we saw was there weren't a lot of resources out there to help people find, a space and guidance and the tools to help them map out their next journey. So we developed something called the Purposeful Careers Initiative. And what this is a cohort-based program designed for those accomplished mid-career professionals with 15 plus years of experience. And the program helps them access tools as well as kind of this community of support that they need to start exploring new career pathways. So whether that be, you're looking at a transition across sector, across industry, maybe it's even pursuing a more entrepreneurial journey. Purposeful Careers Initiative is really designed to help leaders, discover that pathway and kind of set the stages for next steps. And on the next slide, I'll share, we've had the amazing joy of developing this program in partnership with executive career strategist, Nicole Johnson-Scales. And Nicole, you have a better introduction of yourself than I do because you have led in so many extraordinary ways. And so with that, I will stop sharing and turn it over to you, Nicole, to share a little bit more about your background and the PCI experience.
Yes, happy to do so. So good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. I am very excited and honored to lead the second cohort of Pci, which we affectionately call it Pci, for Purposeful Career Initiatives. And Emily, you did such a great job in really teeing it up in terms of what the purpose is of this program. So a little bit about me. So guys, in March, I did a thing. I quit my job of almost 20 years at Fifth Third Bank. I led corporate social responsibility and was part of the executive team, and had a great opportunity to leverage the bank's resources to help communities that were underserved, historically disinvested, communities that look like me. Had an opportunity to lead across the bank. And I recognized that there was something more that was pulling at me, that I wanted to lead, to pursue. And so probably I'd say about 5, maybe 6 years ago, I felt stuck, and I really wasn't quite sure why. I had this really great job that I loved, people that I enjoyed working with, but there was something that was telling me that I wanted more. I needed more. I wanted to serve in a different way. So I had pursued teaching. I enjoy teaching, facilitating other leaders to help from their leadership development perspective. And so started teaching at Lake Forest Graduate School of Management. That kind of helped at the itch a little bit, but I still struggled with what I was supposed to do next, how I should be serving. And I just couldn't quite put my finger on it. And I spent years probably in that space of just feeling like I wasn't clear, feeling like my confidence was off because I'm such a driven person, but I wasn't clear in terms of what I wanted to do next. And I knew that I wanted to challenge myself in a new way, but I wasn't quite sure what that needed to be. So a friend and coach of mine, Linnell Harris, I reached out to him and he said, all right, Nicole, come on board. Let's go through the coaching process so we can figure out, do a little bit of digging to understand what's causing you to feel stuck. And we went through a process of helping me to identify my purpose, which is really around using my strengths and talents, those that I resources that I'm given responsibility for, to help others reach their next level of success. And so when I took a step back and I realized how my career had moved forward, I said, well, yes, of course, this job at Fifth Third allows me to do that. I'm able to leverage my strengths, my talents, my resources, the bank's resources, to help communities get to their next level of success. I was in the space of teaching and facilitating executive leaders that were going through the MBA program. So it allowed me to be a part of their next level of success from an education and a leadership perspective. And then I realized what had been niggling at me, but I didn't quite have the courage to say, is that I wanted to coach. When I thought about what gave me joy, was really being able to impact people in a way that allowed a light bulb to help them to think differently. And so what did I do? I got bullied by the how. That's what my coach called it. He said, Nicole, you're getting bullied by the how. How am I going to make a living out of this? How can I even lead my own business? I've never done that before. How will I do this while I'm working full time? How? And we know that when we say how to ourselves too many times, right, it keeps us right where we are. So I made a choice, decided to move forward, and I started my own coaching business. Working full time, I was teaching, and also really wanting to challenge myself in a new way. And what I recognized is that there was more to my purpose that I needed to lead, but part of it was being clear in terms of what my purpose was. And so Emily and Seth and I had talked last year when I had launched my business, and I was just sharing with them, letting them know. And they said, you know what, we've got this idea. This aligns with who we are as an institution. We want people to connect to their purpose so that they can lead a full and meaningful life. And so we put this program together to serve other leaders who had career experiences, but really had experience similar to what I was going through. When I was the first generation to graduate college. And so for me, it was about, my parents guiding me to get a steady job. It was never about paying attention to my strengths and my talents, the things that lit me up, the passions, the things that I was uniquely created for. that was never an option. And so having the opportunity to pursue the purpose, gain the clarity, really was an aha moment for me. And from there, it allowed me the courage to this year quit my job and lead my coaching and consulting business full time. So the PCI cohort is this, we just had an amazing time. We had 16 leaders who said, you know what, we want more, but we're not quite sure where it is. More could mean where you are in the road that you're in. More can mean the power of and, which is what I called it. I was a corporate executive and a business owner, and I was facilitating MBA courses. The power of the and, we don't have to be one thing. And so we went through this process of like-minded individuals, and we really just uncovered our fears. We called them what they were, named them, and began to create a strategy to move forward. We created courage, where courage was a bit hidden, to say this is the thing that we wanted to do. And we did it in a way that wasn't overwhelming. It was about taking those small steps to gain the confidence and the courage to move forward. The PCI cohort was magical. Having the opportunity to meet over 6 months, 2 hours a month, with people who were so ready for more, ready to unpack where they were as leaders and as individuals, ready to challenge limiting beliefs, ready to step into outside of their comfort zone, ready to say no to fear and yes to joy, was a just magical experience. So over the 6 months, we spent time really getting to know one another through exercises, the ability to share with one another, encourage one another, hold one another accountable, made such an impactful difference. In the program, each participant also gains 2 one-on-one coaching sessions. It's great to go through the cohort model, but we all are individuals. And so having the specialized opportunity where I was allowed to just engage with the cohort members even a little bit more deeper, to look for things we needed to uncover, call it what it is, navigate, build a strategy to move forward, was also a part of what we accomplished together. Every session we had exercises that we modeled through the program, and then they were exercises that the cohort members were encouraged to participate in and to practice and to build on before we met one another. We had accountability partners that were assigned, so that in between each month, each cohort member had an opportunity to say, all right, Emily, here's the thing. I know I told you I was going to commit to that, but as soon as I was going to make the phone call, I got so nervous. I just didn't do it. We having the ability to have someone push you, encourage you, who's going through the same process, but yet still sees all that you're capable of, was what made the program really, really great and unique. So you'll have assignments that you have the ability to take part in. And here's the thing, there's no, unlike a regular class, there's no one checking your homework assignment. It's really about the commitment that you make to yourself in this process to gain more purpose in your career. I call it professional joy. And so having the ability to work on things individually, having the accountability partners, and then having a larger cohort cheering you on, sharing their experiences in a space that created confidentiality and vulnerability, was really the secret sauce. And so with that, I'm going to pause, Emily, because I know I shared so much, because I get so excited about what this group was able to create. And I'll pass it over to you and Erin.
Thank you so much, Nicole. And now I'd like to turn it over to 2 of the cohort 1 members that are here with us today, Yolanda Collins and Gavin Morgan. So I'd love for you to introduce yourself and, share some insights into what this experience is all about. So Yolanda, do you want to go first?
Maybe let's come to Gavin first. I see that you're on camera, and I think you just have to unmute, and then we can come back to Yolanda.
Perfect. Thanks, Emily.
You see a lot of what's listed in my comments above. It really is a recap of my position. I'm not sure if you're able to hear me. I think my internet is giving
Yes,
perfect.
we can hear you now.
Awesome. I really want to talk about, for me, the one-on-one consulting. Um, it came at a time, and it was the perfect time, almost post the program. I know there were opportunities throughout as well, but I, work full time. I'm on the front line, and so for me, having that one-on-one, the timing of it, and again, you have the flexibility to schedule it exactly when you need to. Um, it came at a time when I literally was in the process of making some shifts for myself. So what that looked like is I had one-on-one time with the lead of our program, Miss Nicole Johnson Scales, who's amazing, and it really I entered that one-on-one session with questions or posing questions to Nicole. And Nicole really flipped the script and had a layout that really had me to focus on myself. And so I went into that session expecting one thing, but I came out of it with such a renewed focus. And really what it does is it makes you and it forces you to go back through the process of all of those modules, which are very intentional. It's almost like it's building a story, and it focuses you to focus and makes you dive really deep. Why am I in this program? What am I looking to do next? And what are those steps? So in that session, I literally came out of it with homework. And I have I looked in a message yesterday that I have a deliverable, and I haven't responded to that message just yet from my coach because I haven't done that. But it really, even when I saw the message, I realized that one-on-one coaching session was more than just something that program has as part of the curriculum as a check a box. It really, really makes you tie back into, why am I in this program? What are the steps that I need to take? What are those roadblocks that have kind of followed me throughout my life and my career? And what am I going to do next to really walk into that next place of purpose and good for my life as well as my career? So I highly encourage you. Really, really makes you move into your next. So thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Thank you so much, Yolanda. I really appreciate you being here today and for sharing the great experience that you had in PCI. Gavin, would you like to introduce yourself and share your experience?
Hi, yes, I would. I'm glad to be here. I feel like I'm getting a booster shot on purpose. It just gets me excited seeing Yolanda, seeing Nicole, but also seeing other people who are interested in participating in this. It's inspiring, and the program was inspiring every time we met. I was inspired every time I met with my accountability partner. I was inspired. Every time I reached out to people I had talked to the previous month in our breakout sessions, I just felt good about everything that I got from the program. I'm the township manager for Oak Park Township. I've been here 12 years. I've had a career in local government and in social services prior to joining the township. The township provides social services to residents of Oak Park. We work with seniors, youth, people with financial needs. So just the whole range of social services, but we are a local government also. I signed up for PCI to broaden my impact and regain my passion for the work that I do, serving people and communities. But what I got a lot of the value from PCI was in the cohort experience. You'll find when your group gathers, there's a lot of wisdom in the room. There's a variety of perspectives and experiences and knowledge, and it came from everywhere. We had other people with experience in government, people in the social services sector, people in the private sector. But one thing we had in common is that we all found we were asking similar questions about our deeper and also just exploring our deeper sense of personal purpose and what impact we could have. I got, from participating in the cohort, I got a lot of support from my fellow cohort members. I got a lot of support from Nicole. But just in all the conversations, from the breakout groups, from my conversations with my accountability partner, there was just the sense that we were all there for each other as we were going through this together. I found new ways of looking at myself and my thought processes, a lot of which were holding me back. My fears, the barriers to why I wasn't, Nicole used the phrase earlier, getting strangled by the how, or held back by the how. I can't remember exactly how you put it, Nicole, but but in addition to those fears was just feeling comfortable with what I'm doing. Oh, it's easy to just maintain, but you get challenged. There was, at the same time as there's support, you get challenged by your cohort members, and you get challenged by people saying, well, but why? Why do you feel comfortable? Or why not? Why not jump out there? So it's supportive and challenging at the same time. And then you also, but a lot of your thinking and exploration is affirmed by what you hear from the others, because we're all going, like I said, we're all going through this together. So the cohort was at the heart of this program for me. And but I also, at the end, I got a lot from my one-on-one sessions with Nicole, which really play off of what she's collecting and observing what you're saying in the group setting, and then brings that into the one-on-one coaching sessions too. And so those things, the two parts of the experience played off of each other and enhanced each other. So if you choose to participate, you'll gain your own nuggets of wisdom throughout the process. You'll learn things like make a first draft and then change it later, but whatever you do, just keep moving forward. And you'll also get a lot from your own exploration of your purpose and the impact that you want to have in the world. So all in all, it was a great experience. I would do it again if I could. So.
And if I could just make a quick comment too, thank you so much to Yolanda and Gavin. Yolanda lives in California and would join at 5 o'clock in the morning to be with the cohort, and she brought so much energy and excitement and enthusiasm, just making that commitment. Gavin gained so much courage through the process, and to hear Gavin's excitement about how he viewed himself in a different way, in an empowering way, was it was just, I was just grateful to be a part of the experience and have these two folks trust me, trust one another, with vulnerabilities and being honest, because everyone was striving for the same thing, which was to gain more purpose professionally. So thank you, Yolanda and Gavin. I'd be remiss not to send you guys a virtual hug, and thank you for your contribution to the group, and also to sharing your experiences with everyone here on the call.
Thank you for that, Nicole, and echoing the thanks to Yolanda and Gavin. Thank you so much for sharing. I now want to talk a little bit about what it takes to join PCI. And, PCI is designed for professionals with about, 15 years or more of experience and have reached a pivotal moment of reflection in their careers. It is for leaders who are committed to creating a more meaningful impact and who are also willing to openly share those experiences and insights with the cohort. Like Nicole and Gavin and Yolanda mentioned, the cohort experience is really important to PCI, and the courage and vulnerability that comes with sharing experiences with one another is really important, and which makes this experience really special. There's a $2,500 fee, and this covers the 6 monthly learning sessions and 2 one-on-one coaching sessions that Nicole had mentioned earlier. It also covers any materials that are needed for the program, as well as a breakfast for during the kickoff session in September and the closing session in February. Applications are now open on our website, and when we move to the Q&A portion of the session, I'll pop a link in the chat that will direct you to our website and also directly to the application. And we're accepting applications until Friday, August 13th. Along with some basic questions about like your name, organization, we ask in the application that you share more about why participating in PCI is important to you at this time. It'll ask you for your goals and what you hope to get out of PCI, and it'll also ask how will you leverage your experiences and leadership to support the learning experience of others in the cohort. Because as we said, you know, this the exchange of experiences is going to be really valuable to everyone in the cohort. And so with that, like I said, you can learn more at our website, and I'll stop sharing my screen in a second and turn to Q&A. And during that time, I'll also put these links in the chat for you. And of course, if you have any questions, you can reach out directly to me, and I'll put my email in the chat as well. And I can connect you to Nicole if it makes sense too.
Perfect. And so maybe we can even stop recording and take questions from the group now. And we're eager to hear from you. What